Of a three-part video. Big spark in the backyard. In a little while you'll see these trees over here. You'll hear a and he'll pan the camera over about 4 minutes from now, and you'll see light, what looks like lightning or electricity in the middle of the trees. You hear that? That sounds just like the noise it makes when a laser is used to remove rust from car parts. These fires burn white hot. Later in this video, you'll see a police officer walk through this fence right here. And right as he's walking up to the fence, you'll see a bright light in the bushes. And then as soon as he opens the fence, it's like he disturbs a field of some kind. It's like a disturbance in the electrical field or something. Because as soon as he opens that fence, it gets a brighter light right next to him and flames all of a sudden out of nowhere. That car right there is the one that the headlights come on. Notice the horn has already stopped blowing. See that flame that started out of nowhere? That happens a couple times. It burns real bright and then it goes away. And then it burns again, even though there's nothing left to burn. See that? Like electrical sparks in the trees. I want everybody to get
Frank,
a copy of this and analyze it as much as possible.
No, I have to pay attention. I don't know if you can hear this. Those are propane tanks venting and exploding all around here. So I really have to pay attention to what I'm doing. I had to stop. There's 2 propane tanks, I believe, behind these houses. And I've just got to watch out what I'm doing. The winds have calmed down a little bit. The smoke's it's getting really dark here. The fire is spreading down the street, as you can see, and it looks like they're trying to save the structure down the street directly across from the gate of the Silverado Country Club. And there might be firefighters working at the back of these 2 residences. But we've got animal services, sheriffs, fire departments. Now the winds are picking up and swirling around. You can see the embers. The wind has completely switched direction. And it looks, it's hard to describe how dry it is with the wind blowing and how hard it is to function with the smoke. No, I've gone through multiple fire training, and I'm in a very green lawn area with enough space. If the wind picks up and it blows heat my direction, I've got a big enough buffer zone where I'm in a relatively safe area, if you could call this safe. So that's the only reason I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I was talking with the firefighters down at the previous fire we were at live about the wind conditions, and everybody was extremely concerned about the wind and how dangerous it is, and I take it very seriously.
What he's talking about, I have copies of that too. What he's talking about, none of the people in the video that the news broadcasters are doing, none of what looks like firemen in that video are actually firemen. Every single one of them has a camera on them, and they're all reporters. They're in firemen's clothes as if they're firemen, but if you analyze the video, you can see that every single one of them is not a fireman. But anyway, that's for another video. What he was just saying about the being being release valves, that's not true. That's not what that noise is that you're hearing. It is true that they have release valves, but that's not what you're hearing right now.
Well, you should be doing it carefully, but people are really getting out of here fast. And I've seen multiple cars leaving the area. Which
see that white hot light on the dirt and underneath that bush in the dirt? That's not normal.
It started off in this direction.
That fire burned several times.
This is towards William.
And it's white hot.
Hill Winery. So I'm not familiar with this area, but the fire came from this direction and then moved in the direction it moved in this direction, and it's continuing to move this direction. So if I was more familiar with the topography here, I'd be able to tell you whether that was east or west or whatever. But right now, the winds have just calmed down, and we can see what street we're at here. So this is Atlas Peak Road, and what's this cross street? Atlas Peak? Harbin? Harbin. Okay. And there's fire all along the other side of the road across the street.
I don't know what that big bright light is, but that's there the entire time. Whatever it is. That blazing fire under that bush, there's absolutely no reason for that. Look, it looks like a spotlight beating down on that spot.
They haven't stopped
for the longest
this
time.
House. Whoops. And there goes a propane tank.
That's not a propane tank. That's a lie.
Or a gas valve.
It's not a gas valve. That's a lie. He keeps telling you that, but every time in this video, I want people to notice when you hear that sound, you'll see somewhere all of a sudden the light gets brighter. Sometimes you'll see it looks like a spotlight in the tree, and then all of a sudden the tree will be roaring, like that little fire right there under that tree. There's absolutely no reason for that to still be burning, and that's like not the first time in this video. There couldn't possibly be that much fuel right there where that's burning, but it's continuously burning, and it's continuously got a spotlight on it or something. That's what it looks like. It looks like the only time I've ever experienced that is when I use a magnifying glass to burn something with the sun. And notice the lights are on in that house. Okay? The fluorescent light bulbs come on in these houses, and the lights go on the car, and that confuses these first responders. So they go in the house and they check the car because they don't understand why the headlights are coming on. It's because there's a lot of electricity in the air for some reason.
From what I was hearing on the police radio, the emergency services radio, they were very overwhelmed with the number of fires that were popping up, and they were deploying resources when they had them, but they just didn't have enough resources to go everywhere, and they made a priority to rescue people, and structure protection wasn't a priority. It was strictly keeping people safe. So I'm not sure how many resources are coming in, and what's new and what's not. I've been away from the radio for a while.
I haven't heard enough people asking, why aren't they telling about the thousands of people that died?
Yeah, I'm good.
No. They make up stories all the time and say 58 people died in a shooting or
it's
whatever.
very problematic because
so why don't they tell you the truth when
If
it's
you're doing
thousands
anything and
of
you're
people.
focused in one direction where you think the flames and wind are coming from, and all of a sudden
They tell you 58 people died in these fires or whatever, less than 100. I don't believe that. I believe there was no evacuation for most of the people, and they all, there's two cars in their driveway, and the house is gone, and the cars are toasted. I believe there's thousands of people died, and they're just not telling you that. Why?
that off, it causes a lot of problems, especially if you're trying to escape and drive down a road like this where the smoke's going across the road and you can't see where you're going, and all of a sudden you get enveloped in smoke. It makes things really tough up here. It's incredibly bad conditions up here.
For some reason, he knows he's safe against that fence. I've noticed for some reason, some of these fences are like a fire break.
Yeah, the wind is completely shifted in a different direction now. The wind was going
or a laser break
from this area and then going this way. Notice that the wind's going this way in this area, and then all of a sudden now it's shifting, but down here it's going a completely different direction. And literally that's only 40 yards away from me. You've got wind going this way, and now you look this way, and the wind's going a completely different direction. So
see that fire is still burning under that bush? There's absolutely no reason. There's no way there's that much fuel under that bush. And it still looks like there's a spotlight beating down on it. I'm fixing to have to turn this off and make my third video of this series. I can only make 15-minute videos thanks to Patricia Steer. But anyway, I want as many people that can to get copies of this video, analyze this video, and share this video, please. This is a whole lot of evidence of something. Things that just do not make sense. Like this. There's absolutely no reason for this ground to still be on fire right here. There's not 500 pounds of burnable substance there to keep burning and burning and burning with a white light. It just does not make sense. Okay. Cutting off for part number 3.